Welcome to Kopi with Vance. This is your host, Vance here. As usual, before we kickstart our program, there's always my cup and coffee. Actually, it's not coffee today, it's actually water, right? Been drinking too much of coffee, so got to control. So today's water. All right, so let's get started up on today's topic. If you have noticed the banners that is running just below here, if you can see that. All right, Kopi with Vance, the chef, and today one of my guest speaker is a well-known chef. His name is Albert Rayan. He will be joining us in approximately about 1 to 2 minutes. But before we go on today's topic, I just want to share with all our viewers at Kopi with Vance. It's been a great pleasure to have the chef Albert Ryan, on our Kopi events. And just to a little information about him before we dive into the other topics. He's been a chef for almost 35 years, represent the Singapore national team, member of the Singapore Chef Association, and he also have multiple award, and he's a winning chef as well, right? And there's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about him today. There's a lot of questions that have been posted by some of our viewers, and I've already suggested to us that we should ask this question to him, and we're going to dive in that also the role of a chef, right? And I also can be a chef, but unfortunately, I can only cook Maggie and egg, if I can declare that. But that's not a point. But before we even going to dive into a little bit on the topics, I just want to share a little bit. The first food that was ever invented as what I've done some research, it's about 250,000 years ago. And what the food was found, it was actually noodles, wheat, rice. That's about also millet as well. So these are the food that we actually talk about, and also plant-based fruits, vegetables, and cereals as well, right? But let's get Chef on board and let's ask what his views on food. Today is everything about food, and probably after today's session, everybody might get a little hungrier or a little bit more innovative. So let's get the man up. Let's invite Albert Ryan, please. Hello, Mr. Albert Ryan, sir.
Hello, everyone. How are you all? Good.
How are you? Thank you. I'm fine, sir.
I'm
It is
doing very well. Very excited to do this with you. And let's start.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my offer and coming on top on Kopi events on board. So, Chef, before we kickstart this topic itself, right? I'd like to say that I'm also a chef, but I can only cook an egg and a Maggie.
Oh, okay. Together or side by side?
So that is a question, right? If I do combo, so probably I got to learn a lot of stuff from you, and of course, as a learning journey, right? Chef, before we kick on the topic, maybe you want to do a quick introduction about yourself.
Well, I've been cooking for the past 35 years now. I'm a self-taught chef. I found a very good teacher in the earlier part of my career, but I also was a fantastic student as well. So that really helped. I think you must be able to get instructions and follow it well to be a chef. Yeah, and till 35 years now, I've been still learning. It's a learning journey, and I'm still learning. And I think I always will be learning because that's the only way the cooking revolves around us. Yep.
Thank you, Chef. And today's topic is going to be very interesting as well, because I have already a few questions that's already lined up. But just before we go on into the topics, I just want to know a little bit more on the role of a chef. Of course, people say, "Oh, he's just a cook." He can just cook. Everybody can cook. So, what is the line that we are talking about between a chef and cook like me, who can only do eggs and Maggie? But what things define the specialty of a chef? So, probably we want to get started with that.
I think he should be a leader. He should be able to impart his knowledge to his younger juniors, and because it's not only cooking, it's also about knowing food. The hygiene matters. There's a lot of food poisoning going around you, so if that is the important part of cooking. You must be able to make sure that it's delivered to the guest in-house or even in the restaurant properly. So it's not about only cooking good food, it must be also clean food. I think that is the role of a chef, to ensure that part of the thing. So as a big organization like a hotel or whatever, right? We have cooked for 1,000 of people for breakfast. So it's delegation and also looking after your junior staff, make sure they're all doing it properly. The hygiene part, as I said, is very important. The washing hand part, now is like wearing masks. Even washing hand, it must be taught to people nowadays. How many minutes you need to wash your hands. You must sing one birthday song when you're washing your hand, going with your fingers like that and all the stuff. When you put a soap and you wash hand, right? I just go to this detail bit.
Okay,
You put
sure.
soap and wash hands, right? There must be foam. The foam is the one that extracts all the dirt and impurities from your hand, the germs and everything. Some people just go there, just do this with a soap. As long as soap touches their hand, they think it's good enough. There's no lather or nothing like that. So that is very, very important. These are things which a chef look after. It's not only ordering food and cooking it. So it's a lot of responsibility. But end of the day, if you have a right team in your hand, it's not only one man's job, it's the whole team effort. I always don't forget to thank my staff for whatever they put in every day. I think this is very important. That's the role of a chef, actually, to make sure everything comes out properly and consistently all the time.
Sounds not easy. Of course,
It's
there's
not-
many roads to
yes,
it, right?
yes.
And I also see that's a lot of creativity in terms of a chef, because it's not just about getting the recipe. You have to do inventory control. You talk about getting the fresh food stuff and effort design. So can we say that a chef is also as equivalent as artist or creative mind or creative designer? Because sometimes they like put something like that and then turn
Yes.
and then they look at different angle. That shows a some kind of angle. In photography, we say that you have an eye for that. So do you think a chef should have an eye for the food? Just see in this kind of manner and turn around like that.
Yeah. You see, the
What is your
thing
take on
is,
that? Yeah.
before you can do all that, right, you must have the foundation. You must be able to what do you call that? You must be able to learn how to cook first, learn how to taste the food, learn how the discipline is all about. Then you worry about putting dots on the plate, colorful things on the plate, putting flowers on the plate. So the food can look good, might not taste good, right? So you must learn how to cook good food first before you know how to put it, make it look nice. I think that's the most important thing. Inventory and all those stuff, yes, it's very important as well. What comes first? What goes to the table first? What is used second? Secondary shelf life. All these are also very, very important things. It's not. People think it's easy to be a chef because during the COVID time, a lot of chefs pop up from everywhere. Everybody's a home chef and everybody's making your own cookies and every stuff. It's a very good thing. It's a very good thing, but I don't think so. It's that easy, lah. There's a lot of other things you got to look up to and look after as well, because one small problem, right, can cause a disaster to your career. So you must be very careful when it comes to cooking food for people and selling it online and all this stuff. Must be very careful as well.
So in Tamil they say don't sodaparan. Is that the word?
Yes, yes, definitely. That's why I said just now. The thing is, it's not easy to be a chef. I don't believe it's easy, but you need a lot of patience and a lot of dedication. I've spent endless hours learning how to cook, and I'm very happy to share with everybody. It's just that it's not that easy as it looks.
Chef, before we go into the question that we have lined up for today and the topic to, change gears and move even further, I do believe it's about the five senses. Do you think it's about five senses when it comes to food as a chef? Because we do see visually, we feel it, because as a chef, you're feeling it.
Yes.
So that's only the second sense.
Yeah.
Probably you might be tasting it. So that third sense. Hearing it, I'm not sure, but maybe you take the spoon and do this kind of sound, or I'm not sure. And then what other senses are we talking about? Taste, your visual, your hearing, and your touching. Is that
Smell?
all the senses you put? Yes, smell. Do you use all these senses when you prepare a dish or when you plan something?
Yes. Say for example, you want to sear a meat. You got to make sure the skillet is very, very hot. So when you put it, you hear the sound. If you don't hear the sound, that means it's not right. Correct? When you boil water, the water must be boiling and rolling, then you know it's boiling. It's visualizing. It's not only the end product which you have to visualize. It's everything else. The color, the texture, the when you turn the meat, the golden brown, you're visualizing it. But understanding the product that you use is very, very important. Product knowledge is, I think, the key to a successful cooking end result. Because if you buy the wrong product and you want the right result, it's important. Like frozen chicken will never taste like a fresh one. You can't use a frozen fish and steam it. You must use a fresh fish to steam. So all these things are very important. I think the right product you buy will give you the better results. But end of the day, if you think about it, right, if given the right product to the wrong person, also doesn't work. If you give a Wagyu beef to a young chef who's inexperienced for the first time, you're not able to do it. But if you, after a few guidance and few inputs that you give him as an experienced chef, then be able to understand the meat and take care of it well. Because it is expensive. If you burn one, you are throwing away money in the bin.
So that also costs under your cost, right? I mean,
yes.
And
so all the senses come in play. You cannot say one is not important, one is important. You must smell what you're cooking. In Tamil, they say Arun Suve, all the things, the smell, senses and everything. Yeah, it's very important.
Thank you, Chef. Just one more quick question before we dive into the questions. I mean, the actual question, but this is, I'm asking you. There's always a saying that women are the best cooks, because in every household, woman takes over the kitchen, or rather is their territorial, right? I mean, they take over. But unfortunately, fortunate, there's also famous chefs all in women also, but there seems to be men are better at preparation and kind of stuff. Is it a true statement in comparison to male and female? Men be a better chef than women? Is that something that we can say?
It's not who is better, who has the more endurance, that kind of stuff. I think men are more tougher. They can carry a bigger pot and put it over the stove. They carry heavier load and all this stuff. But when time comes, right, when they get married or whatever, right, they got responsibilities changes. Correct. They need to become a mother. They need to be a good parent. The wife has to take care of the children. So that kind of stuff. Only that part they, I think, miss out a little bit. But I must tell you, I work with fantastic women chefs. One of my Italian chef I work with, she's a third generation or second generation Italian family. She started working when she was 14 years old. She made pasta when she was 14 years old. So she never went to a school, but she taught me how to cook fantastic, traditional, classical Italian cuisine, which was very simple. But I could not learn that from a proper chef who's Italian trained, because he could not pass that passion to me. He only passed the recipes.
So probably after our show tonight, all men should take over the kitchen and ask all the wives and ladies to stay out of the kitchen, and they're going to explore. So all thanks to our chef Albert Rayan.
You see, all the men, right? The men can cook well, but they can't clean. They're always looking for somebody to clean after them. Correct? So the cooking part is the easy part. The cleaning part is the difficult part. The preparing part is the difficult part. If you're well prepared, it's easy when it comes to cooking.
So one thing we learned today, that there is no a better woman chef or male better chef. It's just equal as it can be. But just imagine if every household, the husband and wives together in the kitchen, you can hear the whole block just hell of a noise.
Yes. Not together. Really.
Hopefully we're not sending a wrong signal here, but that is how we start up. But today's question that's lined up for you, Chef, it's about 5 questions. And viewers out there, if you do have any particular question that you want to ask Chef Albert Rayan, please go ahead, type in the comments. If you're watching this live streaming, please do share as well, so that more people can participate and have a little bit more about Chef's recipes, or even we might want to cover 1 or 2, provided we have the time. Chef, so today we're going to go ask a little bit on the shelf span of food item.
Mhm.
So when we talk about fruits, or when we talk about different culture, right? Especially even nowadays at home, after we cook, we tend to keep food for at least 2 to 3 days in the freezer, or even in the ice refrigerator. What do you
Mm.
think about that? What is each and food have a different shelf span? What is your take on that, chef?
Of course, in a restaurant atmosphere, kitchen, a professional kitchen atmosphere, we have guidelines. But when it comes to home, right? I mean, I think this question is asked by somebody from the home. In the home, right? You cook in the morning. Like say, for example, curry. Curry always tastes better the next day. But if it's properly shelved, properly taken care of, like for example, you cool it down, you cool it thoroughly before you put in the chiller. And when you cover it, make sure there's no water particles inside. So all these things will give you a better shelf life. I mean, it's more than 2 days is not lah. The day that night you can reheat it again. So when you reheat it, what temperature do you want to reheat is also important. You must be really make sure that it's hot enough, but not overcooked. So usually I advise my family and my friends. I always tell them, I say, let's say for example you're making a fish curry for the matter. Okay, so you put your fish and you already in the sauce already. You cook it, you eat. Right? All the fish is finished. Next, the curry is balanced. You reheat it again, and then you add your fish in for a night. So there you get fresh all the time lah. So for example, like I would advise people to cook what they make now freshly and eat it. I think that's the safest bet.
Mhm.
In Singapore standards, right? Say, for example, when you go and buy something, you are the one who's feeling it and touching it and looking at it, right? So if it's overripe, that means you can't be kept more than one day. So you buy that, you finish it on the day itself. But if you buy something semi-ripe, you can keep it for 3 days, then it becomes ripe, then you can eat it. So it's about understanding what you're buying and what you want to achieve out of it.
Chef,
I
when
think
we
that's
talk about keeping the food for 1 day or 2 days, is it true that certain, especially in the Indian community, right, we tend to keep curry, especially right, fish curry or chicken curry. The curry
it tastes
tastes
better.
better, is better after the second day and the third day. What is the secret behind that by keeping 2 to 3? Is that something to do with that the dense of the curry, or
It's
it's a bit
it's the
different there.
dance of the curry. It's the dance of the curry as well as the curry powder we use nowadays, right? It has to be cooked longer, and then you don't get this powdery taste in your mouth. So that's very important. Secondly, is when it reduces, the flavor becomes intense and more flavorsome lah. So the next day it might not be very good with rice, but it might be very good with bread or dosa or idli or something like that, no? And that's what I love. I love to eat lah. The second day or whatever. Is it wrong or right? Is a different thing. As I said, is how you reheat the thing. And when you put in the fridge, you must make sure it drops down the temperature, room temperature. Then you put in the fridge. You cannot put something hot in the fridge.
So, what is your recommendation for people out there who are listening to this? When they're taking
Mhm.
out their fish curry or a certain food out, what will be
Mm.
the best temperature to heat up after they have just taken out from the refrigerator?
Okay, from the refrigerator, if you heat it up, right, you must boil lah. So the heat must go into the meat, not only the heat outside. You see the thing boiling, you off it and you start eating it. But the fish is still cold. So the
Mm.
internal temperature of the seafood or the meat is important. The heat must go through the meat or the chicken or the fish that you're cooking lah. That is the most important thing. If you don't do that, right, then food poisonings are easily you get food poisoning lah.
Mm. Especially
You know,
bacteria, right?
yes, you must make sure it boils and the temperature is goes into the meat.
Okay.
Mm.
Chef, as we speak, we have a couple of questions that's adding on to the list. So,
Mm-hmm.
I try to take one of that right now
Mm.
by Nizi.
Mm.
She said, I have a question for Chef. Why does butter makes everything better? Butter and better. So she have posted
Yeah.
that question to you, Chef.
Okay. Okay. I'm classically French trained. I worked in a French restaurant for nearly 10 years before I move out to other cuisines. Butter as the richness and the flavor to make things smooth and silky and texture flavor, and then it also retains, it depends on what you use, unsalted butter or salted butter. The butter quality also plays a part. I'm not saying all cheap butters are bad. The quality of the butter makes sense to you. Like, depends what you use it for. For pastries and all this stuff, you use unsalted butter so you control the salt yourself. So usually when it comes to cooking, I use unsalted butter so I can control the seasoning. If I use salted butter in everything, the food will become very salty. But definitely it'll make things better, for sure. I use it in my chicken, I use it in my fish. I do a lot of European kind of cuisine. So I think that part, the butter makes it better. But when it comes to Asian cuisine, they got to use oil.
Thank you, Chef, for answering that by Nizi. Jeezy. Nice name. Thank you for that. Keep the questions coming in for Chef. I mean, he's ready and he's in charge. So we can ask him a few more questions that's coming up. But Chef, so as we move on, another question that is about, let's talk about salad. Nowadays, what happens, Chef, is everybody is taking health very seriously. Or most of them are already starting to exercise or going into a certain training or fitness program. But I think it has to start from your kitchen and then comes to your workout. Because if your workouts are very good, but if your food are not that great, we are still talking about calories, and then people tend to go into a certain kind of diets, zero carbo, low carbo, just on meat and protein itself. So one of the famous, or rather the trend right now, is salad. And people tend to say that salad is like, cows kind of grass thingy, you're eating. But how can we make salad very interesting in terms of, the mayonnaise or we need to use, or whether what kind of greens, or crunchy or tasty? What is your take on salad and how we can make salad a very exciting and interesting to eat as well, and yummy?
I think you got to first segregate salad into different areas. Say, for example, when it comes to Indian palate, when it comes to local Chinese palate, the Malays and the Europeans, then you can sort out what you want to do with it. Say, for example, let's say for Indians, when you say salad, right, they will say cucumber, carrot, onion, and tomatoes. That is salad for them. For me, a salad is like Mexican mix, a mixture of salad, like yellow frisee, red frisee, chicory, and all this stuff, right? You put it together, you put crunch, like celery, cucumber, Japanese cucumber, beetroot, you can use nuts, raisins, cranberry, that kind of stuff. To add more vegetables, you can add grilled vegetables like pumpkin, eggplant, zucchini, to make it exciting. You can even put in like broccolini, grilled broccolini. So you get them different texture and a smoky flavor as well. So then it becomes exciting. As you said, a lot of people are now exercising. They think salad is the only option they have. You can make a soup out of vegetables without using any oil, nothing at all, just by boiling it. But introducing different kind of like a garlic powder. Instead of, usually people saute it in oil, right? You can get rid of that and you put garlic powder, ginger powder, that kind of stuff. So zero oil is used. So instead of cream, you can put in things like soy milk, almond milk, that kind of stuff. So all these things can come. So it becomes exciting and tasty. So when it goes to Chinese style of dressing, you can make a ginger soy. When it comes to Malay, you can make what do you call that? Like chili base dressing. So all this can be done. Even for the Indians, right? Lime pickle that you buy in a bottle.
Yes.
You buy pickle, you take, and then you blend it with maybe manuka honey and very nice olive oil. You blend it together. You can use a mango pickle. You can use a lime pickle. You can use any kind of pickle you want to use, but they will give you a different kind of profile. So the bitterness from the salad, the sweetness from the cucumber, the carrot, all they can come together as one, and it makes it exciting. I think if it's not exciting, people don't bother. I just share an experience when I had in Australia. This lady came to me. She said, "Oh, chef, I want to be healthy. Can you make for me a salad?" I said, "Okay, no problem, ma'am. Make for you a salad." So I got what do you call that? Hard-boiled egg. I took the egg yolk out. I only put the egg white in, everything. But after that, she was drizzling it with Thousand Island. She was bathing literally with Thousand Island. Thousand Island got 80% fat, no? Oil. And got egg yolk and everything. So how can it be healthy? So in a sense, so you must understand what you want end of the day, and then you just follow up. You can even use boiled chicken, boiled meat into the salad if you really need the other factors inside. So that will make it, it's like it becomes a one meal dish. So I think you can make it exciting by experimenting on it. Fruits is also another option, like pineapple, peaches. I can go on and on and on, no? But I think we don't have much time to just talk about salads only.
Yeah. but Chef, very interesting. We can put all those baby carrots, baby tomato, baby cucumber, and kind of stuff.
Carrot,
Get that crunchy thingy. But
yes.
Like what you said, what goes with the sauce is very important, right? I mean, this particular case, the lady, took all healthy stuff and then she poured a lot of mayonnaise. But nowadays there is a lot of stuff that's going on, like a zero, lesser in sugar or lesser in calories and kind of stuff. How about that? Using those kind of marination, do you think it will be viable, or do you think that we should make our own? Let's say, even when we talk about Malay cuisine, right? The Malay sambal, we can make it a Malay sambal in a very healthy way, and then maybe put that into the salad. I mean, there's never a wrong to explore. Yeah. But even the blachans, or even for the Indian, they know the sambal. That we use it for the prawn sambal, the chicken. Do you think that kind of the sambal paste we put it into the salad, do you think that will work as well?
It will work, as I said. No, but when you start off doing the sambal itself, you need a lot of oil, so the chili oil is released from the chili itself. That is what makes it so tasty, right? Correct. So to get away from that, you get the same taste by buying it from bottle. I'm not too sure, because it's not never a guarantee what goes into the bottle. So I think healthy food for me is you go and buy your own ingredients, you cook it yourself, you make your own dressing. I think that is healthy food. Then you are in control. You are in control of how much salt to put, how much oil I need, everything. Then you don't blame anybody because you don't lose weight.
We have another question that by Deepam to Chef. How long do we cook lamb chops to be well done?
So you see, this is a very these kind of questions. Any chef also will have. I can say 3 minutes on one side, because I don't want to overcook it. Because I don't want to see, let's say for example, I don't want to see any blood on the bone area of the lamb chop. Then I'm going to overcook it. Then you become not so tasty lah. I think medium well is a perfect ideal thing to do it. So it depends on how thick your lamb chops are. Are they on the rack itself as well? All these questions you must be able to answer lah. So if you cut lamb chops, right, they are about a finger's thickness. Then that takes about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Well seasoned. That's about it. Then you can get a well done stage lah. But I don't think so. I think medium well is nice to eat. Medium is nice to eat. Anything well done, it'll be too tough, and it's waste that you buy a fresh lamb chop. If you buy a frozen one, then you can cook it as much as you want to.
Thank you, Chef, for that. Deepam, please take note if you're hearing this, if you're still online. You can send some to the host, Kopi with Vets, and also to Chef Albert Rayan to his house also, so that we can taste. And then we can tell you whether it's nice or not, right? Yeah. So
I just want to add one more thing. Sorry, this lamb chop, right? Like my mom used to make. My grandmother taught my mom. She will pressure cook it. She pressure cook it at 5 whistles, assuming, right? Then she rests it in the pot, and then she takes it out, and then she grills it. So she says it's very juicy and nice lah. So I've tried it a couple of times. My well done friends who like well done lamb, they love it.
That's I hope that answers Deepam. So different chef have a different sequence of timing.
Yes.
How much you want to grill, how much you want to take it out is all up to you. But like what I said, the standard will be about. It depends on the heat also, I'm sure, chef.
Yeah, right? 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Yeah.
All right. So we will move on. So this one is a very, I think, for all the working moms. I think the question that came in, right? Dinner meals preparation for working moms. So I believe I believe this question is directed for, let's say, for a mom of two who have been working in the morning till, nowadays nothing comes back home after 7. So she want to prepare some dinner for the kids. What will be the quick, or rather that's not too much of effort, apart from Maggie, and
Yeah.
3 minutes. What do you think, chef, will be the best?
You can make you see, nowadays kids like Western food, correct? They like Western food. You can pre-boil some. You can boil some broccoli, cauliflower, baby potatoes. You buy the smaller ones, easier to cook. As I said, broccoli, all blanch take out. Then a bit of salt, a bit of butter makes everything better. And then you pan fry your fish, and you're done. All this will take about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes to cook. Another thing you can do is you can use a slow cooking method. You buy a slow cooker, you drop everything inside a slow cooker, on it, and then you leave home. But then you come back home, the stew is ready. So you just cook the rice, and you put the stew and you eat. I think at least 3 to 4 times a week, you should have a family dinner at home instead of buying food all the time. I think it's very healthy lah. It's healthy to eat at home than to buy food all the time. And it also becomes a habit, I remember carrying my kid when she was young in my hand and then cooking. I remember that. So my mother come and tell me, why are you giving them the knife? You cut their finger. But I'm there to guide them so they don't have the fear of it when they grow up. My youngest daughter makes very good cookies and all the stuff because she doesn't have the fear anymore. My eldest one is still catching up, learning. But it's just they don't have the fear of standing in the kitchen. I think it's very important.
Chef, like what you have mentioned, preparing dinner at home at least twice a week, eating together with the family. I think that also creates a lot of bonding between the family members.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
also
have made all my friends cooking beside me. Yeah, so I think that's very, very important. Very, very important. Even you go overseas, right? When they go overseas, they bring how they do things at home, the cooking techniques and from their grandmothers and all the stuff. When they go there, they can show their friends a different style, a different technique or whatever, right? They become bonding as well.
Chef, a very interesting thing that you talked about, right? In Australia and even other countries. I mean, I don't see much in Singapore yet, but other countries, when we talk about Australia, there's a lot of these called RDD, ready to drink, or RDE, ready to eat. You like quinoas. When I was in Australia for 2 trips, the only thing I can get is like quinoas or chicken breast and all that, or even fish or vegetables. It's already marinated. Everything is done. Just take up, open up the packet, throw into your microwave oven, and it's ready to eat. Yeah. Many of that right now for people are such, right? We are all working 8 to 10 hours, busier than ever before in the century. I think we're all going for quick food. So those food like prepared and vacuumed, I mean, we can't say it's not good at all. For certain people, that is the only source they have it. But what is your take on that, chef? I mean, for given a choice, of course, everybody want to cook.
You see, a lot of meat is being preserved by nitrate. The nitrate salt. Nitrate salt is not very good for health. Nitrate salt can give you a lot of problems, cancer, heart disease, and everything else. So you can eat it once a while, like emergency lah, correct? But to have it as a dietary plan throughout your journey or career or whatever, I don't think so it's very healthy. A lot of people go to the gym twice a week or 3 times a week. I mean, you should know better than me. But the thing is, can they cook at the same time? Can they cook 3 times a week? So like a regimen kind of thing. So if that is the thing, right, I think that is a lifestyle that they should go. It's not being a vegan or whatever. That's lifestyle that not necessary. I think healthy food means you buy and you make things yourself. Come together, you go to the gym together as with your friends, right? 5, 6 of us. I think they can also come together 1 or 2 times a week, make food, and then they go to their home and they put in the chiller and they eat it for 2 days. It's okay, what? Correct or not? Share ideas, new things, and all that stuff. I think that's very, very important. I think that is also, they should put it in their weekly regimen that they follow. You can go to the gym for 3 days and cook for 2 days.
Thank you, Chef, on that.
Uh,
The next, moving off to a higher gear right now. I mean, we are going to talk a little bit on the food. Given the choice of, that we are always rushing for time and quick foods are fixed and all that. Sometimes when I mean, most of us do that, right? When we go out and dine,
mm,
um, after certain places, of course, we don't want to mention names.
mm, mm,
When you eat at a certain place,
mm,
um, you you feel like you want to drink a reservoir. That's number one.
mm,
And
mm,
number two is because of I don't know, possibility like the sodium is high, the salt is
yeah.
high, or the energy is high, probably. And number
Uh,
three is visually
uh,
is very aesthetic. You feel like
uh,
wow. But then when
uh,
you start eating that, then you notice that, oh my god, it's the flavoring is there or the coloring is there and kind of stuff. So
yeah.
it's food. His food has become the non-origin just to
Mm,
prepare quickly or to increase the taste or increase the color to get visual aesthetic.
mm, mm.
There's possibility of doing this to get the food. So what is your take on that?
There are a lot of chefs going into that direction. The younger chefs, I don't want to mention, the younger chefs coming out from culinary schools or whatever, right? So they are excited about the chefs they see on TV. So they see them doing things, right? They also want to follow. But you must have the basic foundation of cooking first before you do all that. As you say, coloring, right? Coloring can be natural, correct? You don't have to make all the food look good, right? Because everybody nowadays, right, when the food comes to the table, before they even taste or smell, right, they'll take a camera, handphone, and take a picture and tell their friends where they are and who's cooking for them and what they're eating. Can the friends taste it? They can only look at it, right? So your visualizing thing is what the most important thing now when it comes to people eating. Food has to look good before it even taste good. But for me, I think food has to taste good and also look good. The first priority is taste good. Even if you go for a competition to cook, right? 50 points is given for taste. Only 10 points is given for how it looks. But most of the time, when I don't judge cooking competition, they all focus on how it looks first, thinking it's 50 points on look. So most of the time they lose because they don't know how to cook a proper meat properly or whatever, So that's the thing. Secondly, the question you asked me is like, when you come back home, you feel like uneasy and all the stuff, right? But it could be MSG, it could be preserved, it could be over marinated. Because nowadays you don't know how many people come to your restaurant unless you're booked for 3 months. Then every day I'm going to get 40 people, right? So those kind of restaurants are safer in a sense because they're fully booked. Another thing is also the owners of the restaurants. I think the owners of the restaurants have to understand the chefs well as well. How much strength they have. There's 3% in the kitchen and there's like 125 things in the menu. So how do you expect everything to be fresh? Correct? So if you have a menu which is like 7 things in the menu or 8 things in the menu and you do it every day fresh, everything properly, you can charge a bit more money, but I know I get it right. My younger days, as a young man, I go to the hawker center, right? The char kway teow men only make char kway teow. But nowadays, they make char kway teow, Hokkien mee, carrot cake, moon cake, everything.
All the
Correct or not?
cakes, all the cakes are coming in.
All the cakes, right? So how can it be authentically right? For prata example, correct? Now we got banana prata, ice cream prata, topi prata, this prata, that prata, soft prata, philo prata, lychee prata, everything they have. But you can't get a proper prata which tastes like old school with a proper gravy nowadays.
Chef. I just want to highlight here something. For me, I'm very particular about MSGs. All right, the moment when I
Okay.
take certain MSG, I mean, I'm
I'm
intolerant
allergic.
to MSGs, right?
Yeah, I'm allergic.
You're allergic to, right? But I'm
Yes.
going to give you the symptom of how I feel. I mean, of course, everybody has a different kind of symptom, right? First thing you feel, you mongers, right? Is you? I want to drink the reservoir, and I want to drink something that's chill, and just
Yeah.
want to keep on drinking and drinking and drinking. And number two, for the entire day, I will have a kind of a reflux that I will feel. Tamil is long. Jeeran adikala, it's never digest.
Uh,
And I kind of feel, and I've also noticed that in a certain most of the places that I go to, and I'm actually very able to identify which has MSG and which doesn't have MSG, which is salty. Sometimes you, in out of hunger, you tend to eat some food, and then later you realize, oh, I shouldn't have eat that because now I feel uneasy, and because of that, it can also lead to stomach upset, and then you tend to spend
Yes.
more time in the toilet. So I think these kind of addings or flavorings, which is of course, I mean, if you use it in a very minimum, I think we should not be using a minimum at all. But that actually causes a lot of inconvenience to the person. And nowadays, people can able to identify, hey, this is too much
Yep.
of salt. Hey, this is not right, and they can able to identify. So I think things are changing, but it can
Yep.
change better.
Yep. You see, the thing is, if you, let's say, for example, somebody uses MSG in their cooking, but do you know that you buy a soy sauce, right? It already has MSG in it. You buy a light soy sauce, it already has MSG in it. You buy a ready-made product like a nugget, already has MSG in it because it's part of a preservative thing. So on top of it, we add some more, it becomes worse. Sometimes it's not only the symptoms of MSG is thirsty, one thing, dry throat, cough, breathlessness. Like for me, these are the symptoms I have.
Okay.
I don't have any other problems. But if they reuse the oil that they are cooking with, like the deep fryer oil, right? If they don't expose of it, they use it for cooking to make sambal or whatever, right? That also can cause you the indigestionness, the bloatedness. You feel bloated, you feel choking, that kind of stuff. So it's not only one particular symptoms. It could be that the person who's cooking it has to have the heart, to do it properly. Yeah. So that is usually when inexperienced chef or whoever agrees upon so many menus, right? The bosses implant to them. So that is the issue. I think that's the biggest issue we have.
So do you think that, I mean, so it's going to be very, very, that's why Nizi GZ, Nizi GZ, nice name. I like that, Nizi GZ. High five. She said, oh, one more question that we just talked about the controversy studies on MSG or salt. So, Chef, my only thing is that, we know that salt is definitely, if you use it in a moderate, it's fine. If you use it lesser, it's fine. But if you use it in excessive over the years, a period of time, a period of decades, of course, you tend to have blood pressures and kind of. So my question to you now, Chef, is, in your expertise, can we prepare a food without salt? Of course, MSG is no, but can we prepare a food without salt?
I wouldn't say without. I say bare minimum. As I say, for example, let's say you use anchovies. So I wouldn't use salt. I use olives. I don't use salt. Correct. If I use a light soy sauce, I don't use salt because it already has saltiness. The fish sauce already has saltiness, right? So that salt that you add is in habit. Like for example, you get a soup in front of you, straight away pepper, salt, without even tasting it. So that is where the problem starts. I think you have to learn how to taste your food while you're cooking, so you know when to put and when not to put. A lot of people have this issue. I think I'll answer this question as well. A lot of people have this issue when it comes to sea salt, Himalayan salt, blue salt, pink salt. When you put it is very important. Some people put it earlier part of the cooking. Some people put it after cooking. Like you make a steak, you just put a pinch of salt on top of the steak, so it melts down to the heart of the steak itself. So the taste is better. It gives you, if you put good salt, right, it has this sweetness to it. If you use the fine salt, processed salt, it gives you a very sharp, raw taste to it. So I think what you use is also important. You cannot say you cannot do without. I think you must understand all your products that you put in your food.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you on the explanation part of MSG. Of course, MSG is no. And of course, salt as minimum as possible. And also depend on what is the dish that we are choosing. And if we can use it bare minimum, I think that would be great. The next one I'm going to jump into, Chef. Of course, we are now looking at artificial flavorings and kind of stuff, because I think this has been going on for ages, right? Pouring sugar into the dish to have the taste. Probably most people will be able to identify, hey, this is so sweet. Why is this dish so sweet? Or if his MSG is so high, if the sweetness is high, just to bring up the taste of a particular dish, what will you grade a person who does that, or what do you think that dish? Of course, it's a no, but do you think that sugar is necessary?
There are some kind of food they need to put sugar. Say, for example, you make a sambal or whatever, right? To increase the heat, you put a bit of sugar, so it caramelizes. So the heating point is higher. So the oil splits from the chili faster. Of course, you can opt for honey. You can opt for molasses. You can opt for what do you call the rock sugar or gula melaka, raw sugar, that kind of stuff, instead of the white sugar. So I think you can opt to something else, but as you said, minimum.
Sorry, Chef, I just have to stop you here for a while. So let's say you're saying bare minimum, but as an Asian country or even the whole population, the whole world, diabetes is one of the highest at this point of time. Of course, come along with atherosclerosis.
I'm also diabetic.
Something? Okay. So diabetes is high blood pressure is high. So my only question is, can we go without sugar? For diabetes, so let's say a person is diabetic. If it's a diabetic and they're preparing something, can they go without sugar?
They can go without sugar. Then you'll have another problem. Zero sugar cannot be. So, say for example, they don't take sugar as raw, like maybe in the coffee or whatever, right? They don't take, but they still take rice, right? Correct? So there is sugar in it, right? So you must cut down on that as well. Bare minimum lah. So then you take wheat instead of rice, correct? But the sugar part, you can do without. So you can have a cheat day, but in the cheat day, you don't chomp it down. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cheat day today, I'm going to have 5 laddu instead of 1, which I never take 1 every day, right? So that kind of thing, you cannot do that. Right? You might have a small cheat day. Even fruits have natural sugar in it instead
Fructose.
of, yeah, so it's okay. So you can take like fruits and all, if you really have the palate for it. I think a coffee tastes better without sugar anyway.
Yes, it does.
Yes, I'm also diabetic. Okay, so as I said before, I always tell my friends, when it comes to checkup day, 2 days before, I take guava juice I take bitter gourd juice, beetroot juice, all the juices. Then I go to the doctor who tell me, Albert, very good today, all done, very nice. Keep whatever you're doing. Your dietary is very good. Continue doing whatever you're doing. But after I come back, I start eating sugar until 3 months later, my next appointment, I start 5 days before. All this bitter gourd juice, Murungaka juice, all these things will go inside and I'll be normal again. I think that's a wrong habit. I think you got to really practice yourself. You already, damage is already done. Make sure you control it.
So simple answer that what you just has mentioned is that, of course, bare minimum, or if possible, not to put it. Of course, you can do some alteration, which is what exactly in the fitness and health also preaching the same thing. So kitchen, I think it's both. Yes.
Yeah, but even brown sugar now, you don't know how it's made. Correct. So where is the real balance to it? I really don't understand. So I rather not put sugar in my whatever. I think natural sugar is okay, but to put sugar and drink a coffee, I don't think so it's necessary.
All right, Chef, thank you so much on that. We covered on the artificial part and how to monitor and how to avoid it. And of course, if we go to a particular place and we notice that you feel like drinking a reservoir, and then after the end of the day, you feel very bloated and you feel very digestion is just not right, and you keep on visiting the loo and staying there for almost half a day, then probably that's not the place that you want to go to. All right, I mean, whatever that works best for you. When you prepare, also you prepare with less sugar or zero sugar or bare minimum sugar for those who are in the diabetic area where you got to really watch out your glucose because your medication is such. Chef, we are going to go for another 2 more questions. We are already at 15 minutes of discussion already. Another one is, of course, also directed to you. which is asking about preparing food for kids friendly meals, because nowadays to make a kid eat, you probably have to give the cell phone or a kind of a social device
Yes.
so that the kid sees and then properly eating, right? The kid concentration is not on the food, the kid concentration is the social media or the social arena of that. But the food seems to be a very tough decision for parents. That's why most of the questions are now directed to you or to us on related to the kids and family. So kids, so aesthetically, even parents do all kind of stuff. So kids don't want to eat. How much you
Yep.
want to prepare and even buy and do kind of stuff also is not working out. What is your take on this, Chef?
Okay, of course, the age group counts. Kids, a lot of kids love salty food, like fries, nuggets, that kind of stuff, right? So you must be able to give them something similar to it. Huh? Okay, say for example, you give them pasta. But nowadays young people like pasta, right? You give them pasta. What you put inside? They don't eat vegetables, right? What you put inside the vegetable is important. Like for example, you cook it with butter or you cook it with bacon. Bacon, right? Very finely cut bacon into the vegetable, mix it up together. They will eat the vegetable because it's not only boring. Secondly, is I've seen parents not eat vegetables and they're forcing the children to eat vegetables. I think you should set an example. You cook the vegetable, you eat the vegetable in front of him. I think in front of him or her, they will also eat. I've seen parents telling the kids to eat vegetables and then they're eating a burger in front of them. It's not going to happen. So I think as the parents, they should set an example so they will not follow. The parents are also looking at the handphone when they're eating. They don't put the handphone aside when they're eating. So how do you expect the children to follow? I think parents should be the first example, and it should be started in a younger age. All these things should be the younger age. They should teach them how to eat vegetables and everything. If not, it's not going to happen. Like as I said, there's so many kinds of vegetables in the market. Why are you just thinking of only a few? Give them new things to try. If they like asparagus, buy for them asparagus. See what they like and give them to start it off first. Instead of you buying and what you like, you give them. You must ask them question, what do you like? It's not what is on the plate you must eat. Those days are all over. Force feeding the kids and all is all over. Nowadays, I think you got to communicate with them and ask them questions. I remember last time, right, when somebody asks you, what is your favorite food? First thing will come out is orange or apple. Now you ask a 5-year-old, what do you like? They'll tell you, I like a kiwi, especially the one from Spain. You know what I mean? I like a strawberry, and they can tell you the one from Korea is better than the one from Japan. That kind of stuff. They all know so many information, right? So ask them what they want to eat and give them what they want. I think you'll be and add also fruits in their diet, that kind of stuff. So I think make it exciting.
Chef, very interesting. You just said that, and also that I was thinking subconsciously as well, and bring it to our conscious. To make vegetables very crispy, especially like baby, even cut the broccolis into small or baby carrots. Baby carrots and cucumber and tomato, they tend to be very crunchy. Is there anywhere like parents can, something like, boiled it and then maybe sauteed, or maybe like a barbecue kind of stuff, vegetables, capsicum and kind of. Do you think that will make them excited to eat until like, oh, I want that, and the pellets just comes in and the kids just rush to eat and then eat? Do you think that kind of era, which also the snacks, which is our next topic, do you think that will be possible as well?
That's what I'm saying. You see, the vegetables are repeated. So one day can be mushroom, the other day can be asparagus, the third day can be capsicum, the fourth day can be something else. It's not like it's cheap and good. I just buy every time the same thing. So there are certain vegetables I myself I don't like. But I know there's a health benefit to it. So I try to make it exciting so I can eat it. Like what is like grilling? A grill broccolini tastes fantastic, but a kid might not like it. So you must find out what they will like, what kind of, how can you make it like sweeter or whatever, just by blanching it. It takes a bit of effort. You blanch it and then you refresh it in ice water. So it stops it from cooking, so the crunchiness stays. or you can cut it smaller and saute it together with the whatever sauces that you have inside. So they will make it exciting. As I said, like bacon and all those stuff, right? Char siu flavor they like. Children like char siu flavor. The sweet and peppery flavor. They like that kind of stuff, but not hot and chili. So as I said, the parents must eat what they make, lah. So then they will slowly develop. Even in schools nowadays, they are starting to do healthier food. Correct? They still have the noodles, but the soy sauce they use got less sodium in it. No MSG products are used.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Yeah, so that is very good also. So there are products nowadays, there's no MSG. Like Uncle Roger, right? Uncle Roger. Uncle Roger says MSG is very, very good. He's doing a research on it saying that there's nothing wrong with it. So wait for him to prove. But as I said, I'm allergic to it. But some of them are not. I did a quick study on something, So there were chefs from different hotels. They came to my hotel. Okay, I want to mention name. They come to my hotel, and then we have zero tolerance when it comes to MSG. So none of the product is MSG. Even there's a product is MSG in the hotel, you can be terminated from your job. That kind of strictness, But all the chefs did not like what we cooked. You know why? Because they're so used to it. They're so used to the MSG. Because all my life, I've been eating MSG, right? Until one point, I became allergic to it, so I stopped. But some of them have eaten all their life, right? Without it, they taste like it's nothing. Correct? Like, for example, mee goreng, right? Mee goreng is red in color in Singapore, but brownish in color in Malaysia, right? They don't put tomato and put coloring inside, no. But here we put the coloring because we want to see red. So the coloring part is bad. It's artificial coloring. It's not natural coloring. That's kind of things, like small things that you make the option whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it, whether you want to eat or you don't want to eat. I think if everybody stops buying it, right, they'll stop making it.
I think very well said, Chef. I think because at the end of the day, as we talked about it, right, the health doesn't only start in the workout area or the fitness area. It only starts from the kitchen. It's only starts from the kitchen, and then it goes to the places that we go and exercise. Because that's what I strongly believe. That's what you also strongly believe.
Yeah.
Chef, is aesthetically. People now need to look aesthetically, smell nice, taste good. Of course, some feel it as well. So I think we are using all our senses. How we need right now to make ourselves satisfied. But the after effect, right? Because usually it's only about what we're talking about 6 seconds when you bite something or eat something. It's only after about 6 seconds. Once it goes in, then it start to do wonders. If it's all the healthy stuff, then of course it's good. But right now, when we look at the population of certain illnesses like blood pressure, diabetes, and other illnesses that's lined up, it's also related to with stress and food, binge eating. You want something that's fast, quick, and quick calories and as well. So definitely what you have told us is going to be very, very helpful for parents out there. Chef Albert Rayan just told us that, to make crunchy vegetables as well, to grill it. And taste also goes a little bit different, Chef. I probably would love doing barbecue with my vegetables. Example, like broccoli. You want to put a little bit of olive oil, better choice. And then you saute it just like how you do like a chicken wing, At the end of the day, when you eat, you feel like a very nice crunchy feeling. So you get satisfied because it's a saliva that's going around. I feel like you eat something very nice. Of course, a bit of flavor there. So
you try something the next time when you're cooking, right? You take a cauliflower and you cut it like a steak.
Okay.
Then you put in a tiny bit of oil, rub it on both sides. Then you put ginger powder, garlic powder, mango powder, a little bit of curry powder, tiny bit of salt, rub it, and then you pan fry it. It'll taste like steak.
There you go.
Yeah. So now I think another thing that I want to point out is also one important thing is I think people have learned how to eat. Like what time to eat breakfast, what time to eat lunch, what time to eat dinner, what time to eat supper, what time is tea time, everything, right? They don't care whether they're hungry or not. They just eat. You know what I mean? They don't care whether they're hungry or not. They just eat. I think that should be one thing that you look like. You must feel hungry, then you eat. Not because it's 11 o'clock, I must eat. Not it's because it's 3 o'clock, I must have tea. you must thirst for it, no? You do a workout, you feel that, okay, I've done my workout, I take a shower, I want to have something nice to eat. Correct? So that should be the way. You must work for it, you just can't just say, I didn't do anything today, I'm just eating a five course meal, that kind of stuff. So I think that part, you should feel hungry before you eat, not before it's time to eat.
Thank you, Chef, for answering that as well. I mean, it was a very in-depth as well for preparation for kids, even for adults as well. Have a different taste, a different varieties. I think the men should now explore their kitchens right now. After our talk, they will be going to the kitchen and say, I'm going to take over the kitchen from today onwards. Hopefully we're not creating a war between them, between their wives, the other halves. But we have a last question for today. But for viewers out there, if you do see this, if you're watching this right now, please do share if you have any question that you want to ask. Chef Albert, we have about one more question to ask, and before we end our show. But Chef, this is a question that was set up by me. So, what is your advice for upcoming chefs? For those who want to learn to be, to be a chef. Some after watching it, say, I want to be, inspired by our chef Albert Rayan, and they want to start up a career, or but you always start from the scratch. So what is your advice for them?
They are very good schools. They are very good. You must know what you're getting into, because it's a very big career move. You have a title in front of your name, like a doctor so-and-so, a chef so-and-so. You have a title in front, there's a reason for it. Because it's a very serious job. There's a lot of time will be sacrificed before you even say you're a chef. So a lot of, I think you must learn. Teachers will come along. Good teachers will come along. I think you must be a fantastic student to be ready for it. Once you are able to put your head down, learn your craft properly, then you become a good chef. That's the only advice I have them. I say, learn the craft properly before you put dots on the plate and flowers. You learn the craft well. Learn how to do. Learn how to taste the food, just not the look of it.
So, Chef, what you're trying to say is, can I say this, if my statement is right? Don't look for a master. Master yourself first, then the master will look for you.
Excellent. Right? Well said. Well said. Well said. Well said.
So, you see, Chef, I always like to explain. I always say, whenever there's a discussion, I always say that even if it's in a job of a cleaner, you got to take it pride and responsibility as if you are the only best cleaner in the entire world. You got to do different ways of thinking. Even though you're getting a monthly salary, but the passion and determination and the way that you get involved, it will lead to something in the upcoming future.
Of course. When I started my career, I never thought I'd be on TV or cooking for ministers and top directors and musicians and all this stuff. I never thought of that. I just thought of just learning the craft and being the best I can. And I'm still learning, so that keeps me going. So I don't think I got a few more years to go. I think I have many more years to go to learn. That's about it. Yep.
And also, do you think, Chef?
I like what he said just now.
Sorry, Chef?
I like what he said just now about the master thing.
But can I say this statement as well before before we go on? Inspiration or inspiring someone, I think, is very important, so that you want to be like a person. But I think you should be a unique of your own self. You got to create your own title, you got to create your own stuff. So you have to work on the ground. But I think what is very important in any industry that we work on, all right, can it be in IT or retail or whatever the job requires, I think we have to always look upon and have a great respect whoever the senior been there, because I think they didn't just come within 1 month or 2 months or 1 year. It's many years of experiences, and they have brought over it in a hard way, of course, with failures and obstacles and challenges. So I think anybody who want to come into any industry, I think it's very important that you need to be humble, ready to learn, and move with a positive mindset, rather than, oh, I'm the biggest chef in the world, I can do the best. Then it somehow or other shows the person's attitude and character. Do you agree with me there?
I totally agree with you. You see, like, for example, right, as I say, I got 35 years of experience. If someone wants to learn from me the old school, I'm willing to teach. At the same time, I also can find out what is new school. The younger generation, right? They got fantastic ideas, fantastic techniques. They mix things very well. They know what goes well with what. It's easier to find out information from these than in a book. Those days, when you do a research, you got to go to the library, spend a half a day there, just to have one recipe. I get about 1,000 recipes here. But if you don't know the product knowledge, right, then it's wasted. So it's a win-win situation. Like that's why there are young chefs which I work with, which are also executive chef and 3 Michelin star chefs, very young, but they bring something different to the table, But they know the product knowledge. The product knowledge is very important. I think before you step into something, you must know your ground. You must test your ground properly. It's a life-changing job. But it's also a very challenging job, as I said, like a lot of sacrifice and time involved in it, So that's the only thing I advise the younger chef: think before you get into it, because it can be very challenging.
And I got to say, it's demanding as well, because you have to constantly create, be a designer, be an artist, be a perfectionist, because
Yes,
I don't
yes.
think so. A chef like, oh, I'm done, take and go. No, they were like, they got to turn and put that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
on, and then they turn. No, I can see all those. But I think, chef, it's not about the quantity, but
yeah.
even the quality makes you full. When you look at it,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
You go like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. Choosing the right ingredients, sir. Choosing the right ingredients. You must work very hard when you have something frozen, but you work very little when it's not. That's the most
That's very
important
true.
thing.
Yeah. So now the last part I want to ask you is, too many chefs spoil the soup. Why do they say this?
Too many opinions. Some have this habit of tasting. Some of them don't have the habit of tasting. So they might assume the salt is not put, they put again. They must assume it's not cooked long enough, they might cook it again, because they don't have the habit of tasting. So one chef has the control, the rest have to be the hands. That will make a perfect dish. Too many
So that's why
cooks spoils the thing is a true story.
too many chefs
Yeah,
spoil the soup. Yeah.
yeah.
Chef, it was a very great discussion with you for almost 1 hour 10 minutes, and
Okay.
we of course we are not doing any live demonstration here, because that probably will take another 2 hours. But it's a
Yes.
very in-depth session with us today, because we covered artificial flavorings. We talk about food preparation. We will talk about for mummies for preparing tips on healthy preparations home, when they, after a long day, they come back home, they get. But to think about it, I think we have to give it to the woman at this point of time. I think they are constantly the chef at full time at home, and they have many roles,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to a mother, a wife, a
Mm.
sister, a daughter, a chef, a
Yeah.
cleaner,
Yeah.
a teacher. We can keep on going, but it's a
Yes.
multi-dimensional role. They are doing that, and it also been proven that men are also upcoming chefs, which we see more often as well.
Yes.
But of course, I think because of certain responsibilities,
Mm.
women tend to take a multi-dimensional roles. So
Mm.
I mean, they are still pursuing their careers as well. So we like to see more women, coming on board as well, like what Chef Albert Ryan has mentioned. Chef, any wise words before we end today's show?
Keep cooking with your family. I think it's a very bonding experience. Um, I will be sharing a lot of recipes on how to cook healthy food, and also things like how you can cook an easy meal within like 5 minutes with 5 ingredients, that kind of stuff. I will be doing it in the future. And thanks for inviting me to come and speak with you. I really had a fantastic time. I didn't have a coffee with me. I have a glass of water, but the next time I'll definitely bring a coffee with me. Thank you very much. I had a fantastic time. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chef. I'm sure we are going to work more projects coming up along the way. We have some plans that's going to come up as well in the near future. For now, thank you so much, Chef. I mean, it's our gratitude with full of blessings for you to join us and share all your experiences, because it's about your 35 years of experiences, and you brought up to us within 1 hour. So it's really a wisdom that all our viewers, especially as well as myself, I learned a lot of stuff. I try to come up with a special egg, you know. I will.
Flowers like that.
So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to show you. You know, when you go to a teppanyaki, you know, the chef will like, you know, they do that egg and then they put up. You know, I'm gonna.
The egg will drop and you make a heart shape.
Maybe I hate eating. I don't know, but I'm gonna do something on the egg, and then I'm gonna do some decoration flowers, and you know, I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna send it to you. You take a look, and you say, you know, whether I have some potentials.
Definitely, I will. Yep.
Thank you, chef. Thank you so much again, and we will get connected. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much.
So, thank you, viewers. Chef, thank you, chef. All right, so there was Chef Albert Rayan, who spent almost about 1 hour 11 minutes with us and sharing his in-depth experiences over 35 years, and he brought everything back within 1 year and shared us. So that's something we all learned, and it's always been a pleasure for me to have a talk session. Of course, with water today, unfortunately, no coffee. We've been drinking so much of coffee with Chef Albert Rayan. It's a wonderful gentleman who shared his experiences. So next topic is coming up tomorrow. Usually it's only once a week, but we have many speakers lined up and we have different interesting topics that's coming up. So tomorrow we have another guest who's joining us. His name is Raj Singh, a motivational speaker, and he'll be talking with us on a certain interesting topic. I was not born yesterday. So stay tuned. Come back tomorrow. But tomorrow is 9 p.m. So for now, signing off, Coach Vance from Kopi with Vance. For now, cheers. Bye.